welcome back to another episode of the Smith Boys.
Alright, brother.
Brother, it's happy days. It's Castor Troy.
I love that movie, brother. Face Off. I heard they're making a sequel to this.
I hope they don't, because the first is all you need.
John Woo. Is that John Woo?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man.
Is he still alive?
They're making a Con Air 2. Didn't John Woo do Con Air?
Con Air 2?
You don't know shit.
Yeah.
Brother, all right, let's stop that before we start this, because we're getting off the rails here with Nicolas Cage movies, and you know that could be a whole podcast in itself with Smith Boys and Nicolas Cage movies,
That's
and
what
I know
I'm talking- that's
I
what
know
I'm
what you're
talking
trying
about.
to do, brother. I know what you're trying to do, and damn it, I ain't gonna let it happen.
No way! I don't think so, pal!
Because it's a happy day for Castor Troy here.
Well, you got to put that in there, then.
I'll try, if I can find it. Now, why am I so happy, brother?
You like peaches?
I could eat a peach for hours. Why am I so happy, brother? You know I'm a Raiders. Yeah.
I'm also an architect.
Now the Raiders just got their ass handed to them by the Lions on Monday Night Football.
Yes, they did.
So why am I so happy, brother?
Well, it's because they shit can't have the organization.
Yeah.
All the coaches and everybody that means anything.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Got fired.
Yeah, the Lions of all. This is what they did. The beauty of the irony in all this, brother. That is the Lions who of us living in Metro Detroit pretty much all our lives. Okay, have given us nothing
Sure.
our entire lives.
I agree with that.
But me, you know, me
A lot of
growing
that's
up
true.
and moving out west for a little bit, for a few years, becoming a Raiders fan. The Raiders moved to Vegas. I become a Raiders guy, a Vegas Golden Knights guy. So I'm happy they won the Stanley Cup. But I'm a Raiders guy now, brother. And the irony of it is the fact that the lowly Detroit Lions beat my Raiders so bad that the next day, Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders,
Clean house.
shitty haircut
Clean
and all,
house.
decided to fire Josh McDaniels,
Yeah!
Dave Ziegler,
Yeah!
and they ended up firing the offensive coordinator.
Yeah!
Clean house.
Clean house, brother.
Yeah.
We're rebuilding again, brother. We're rebuilding the rebuild, brother.
Well, you're starting from scratch, and I think you're looking for Jim Harbaugh.
God damn it, are you fucking with me?
Oh, get out. Get out. End the pod. Get out now. Get out of the podcast. Get out.
Hey,
I don't
you
want-
have little suckers over there, those Jolly Rancher suckers.
All right, you're done for the rest of the pod. You don't get to speak. Suck on your sucker. You don't get to talk because you mentioned Jim Harbaugh. If Jim Harbaugh comes here as the next head coach of the Raiders, I'm done.
You can kiss my ass!
It's Halloween, people.
I'm done. I'm done with the Raiders if they hire
I
Jim
think-
Harbaugh. If Mark Davis goes from John Gruden to Rich Bisaccia as an interim, who took us to the playoffs, then discounting him and bringing in Josh McDaniels' stupid ass, and firing him after a year and a half, and then bringing in Jim Harbaugh next year, brother, I'm done. I am so beyond done and will not support this team.
Brother, you need to get over yourself, and you need to get over yourself as far as this Raiders stuff goes, because the Raiders are terrible. They're going to be terrible. They are the worst organization, I would argue, in all of sports.
No.
Yes, I would.
No.
And the ownership is putrid.
Yes.
The ownership
Yes.
is putrid.
Yes.
They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
Yes.
They continuously hire the wrong people.
Yes.
And then those people hire the wrong people.
Yes.
And then it just perpetuates and it goes into perpetuity with
Yes.
this problem, with this
Yes.
organization.
But you know why I love it? Because they're still the Raiders. And they
Well, you're not going anywhere.
But people said that about the Lions, brother. And look at the Lions now. The Lions are the talk of the NFL, brother. The Lions have been a living, breathing.
Don't spare me.
I'm not going to spare you shit. Because the Lions have been a living, breathing kick in the nuts for an entire lifetime. Until they figured it out. And the Raiders were like a 13-3 team like 5 or 6 years ago. And Derek Carr was an MVP candidate 5 or 6 years ago when they went to the playoffs but when they went to the playoffs. Then he like broke his back, and then they had to go to the playoffs and to play without him or whatever.
Yeah, but Derek Carr had that one really good year.
That was the year.
And then
they went like 13-3. They made the playoffs, and they did nothing.
Then he sucked ever since then.
Well, because he like broke his neck or broke his back, and he ain't been the same since then. But be that as it may, okay, he's gone because they got rid of him for nothing. Devontae Adams, they decided to trade for Devontae Adams from the Packers. He came here to play with his college quarterback, Derek Carr, who played with him for a year. He had a decent season, Devontae Adams did with Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Then they ended up shit-canning Derek Carr. He goes to the Saints, and he still sucks. Right. And then we ended up getting Jimmy Garoppolo, who's even worse. Jimmy
G is not any good at all.
Jimmy G is a poor man's Derek Carr. With a better winning record.
I wouldn't even say that. I think Jimmy G has just lived by the luxury of safe defense, a safe offense.
He's a game manager.
Game manager with really solid defenses.
And being a handsome son of a bitch.
For sure. That's really been Jimmy G's whole game. And now it's been exposed.
He's Jimmy GQ.
Yeah.
Well, he sucks. So he's done for the rest of the year.
Yep.
It seems like they've benched his ass. Aiden O'Connell, the rookie from Purdue, who had a nice little career at Purdue. He kind of made Charlie Jones the receiver at Purdue.
Charlie Sizzle.
Yeah, a guy for a little bit. And the Raiders drafted him. And I was kind of all about it, but he ended up picking number 4. So it looks like he's still Derek Carr.
Let's wrap this up.
Because I still got to see number 4 at quarterback for the Raiders, and it just makes me think of Derek Carr, which bothers me. So I wish he would have picked a different number other than O'Connell. He's number 4.
Whatever.
I wish he would have picked a different number. But he was a star in preseason. Like, he was a stud. He was good. Yeah. He's put up good numbers. He played like he played like a game and a half in the regular season, looked all right. Not great, but he looked all right. He looked better than Garoppolo. So I would assume with Antonio Pierce, the interim head coach for the Raiders, the ex-linebacker, he is going to have O'Connell as starting quarterback the rest of the season. And they're going to live or die by him. They're going to find out, is Aiden O'Connell a guy that we can keep as a starting quarterback and build around, or is he a guy that maybe we're just going to keep as a backup, move on from, and tank and draft Caleb Williams or Drake May or J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix?
Yeah.
Which is probably what they're going to do, because I don't see Aiden O'Connell as a future starting quarterback in this league. Unless he caught lightning in a bottle, which I don't think they did.
Is he Brock Purdy?
Well, Brock Purdy sucks as of the last 3 weeks for the Niners. So all indicators of what I've read have shown, like Hunter Renfrow came out and said that it now feels like the weight of the world is off our shoulders and we don't have to feel like we're walking on eggshells anymore. So that's a good sign, and it's also a horrible sign for anybody that wants to maybe think about hiring Josh McDaniels again, who should never have a head coaching job in the NFL ever again.
No.
This is his second job, and he's been fired within 2 years both times because he's a bum ass. The Patriot way just doesn't work, brother. It hasn't worked anywhere other than the Patriots.
No,
and that was because you had Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and you had Tom Brady. You had the trifecta.
I think it's pretty clear. You had Tom Brady.
You had Tom Brady, and you had Belichick, and you had Robert Kraft. You had the trifecta of ownership, coach, and quarterback.
Yes, you did, brother.
Outside of that, the Patriot way doesn't work. The Lions have tried it didn't work. The Dolphins have tried it didn't work. Multiple teams have tried it and it didn't work. Now, who do we bring in? You mentioned Jim Harbaugh. I would be disgusted if that was the case. Jim Harbaugh is shrouded in mystique and trouble everywhere he goes. He wears out his welcome very quickly wherever he is. Yeah. He's scandalous everywhere he goes. I want a young, offensive-minded, fiery guy. If you could tell me that, like right now, from what I'm seeing around the league, I am going for Ben Johnson, the offense coordinator of the local Detroit Football Lions.
Yeah,
that's who I want.
I think, I really do think Harbaugh has found his unicorn in JJ.
And in Connor Stallions.
I think
Got him.
I think he's really in love with JJ.
But he still doesn't unleash the reins with the JJ.
He will.
JJ,
He will.
if JJ McCarthy was the quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide, JJ McCarthy would already have the Heisman Trophy locked up. If JJ McCarthy was the quarterback for USC, Washington, Oklahoma, Texas.
So you're saying JJ McCarthy's best quarterback in the country?
I'm not saying he's the best quarterback in the country, but he has ability to be a big stat producer. He has a big arm. He's mobile. I mean, he's got
everything.
He has intangibles.
Thank you.
Okay.
He's the best quarterback in the country.
I ain't gonna say that, but
why not? Who's the best quarterback in the country?
I don't know.
Who?
Probably a mix of the three of either Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Michael Penix Jr. Hell, Shedeur Sanders is pretty damn good.
I think JJ McCarthy's the best quarterback.
Well, you're entitled to that opinion, brother. But of course, it's going to be obvious that would be your opinion because he's wearing a Michigan shirt. This is the same guy that said Ryan Mallett was going to be the greatest quarterback that ever lived. And Ryan Mallett didn't even finish his career at Michigan. And now he's dead.
He's not here, is he?
God, you put that on me.
I'm not putting that on you, but he did die young.
Yeah, he did. Well, hey, it wasn't the pressure I put on him, but I did think that he was going to be a stud. I mean, he came in as Mr. 5-star.
He was like J.J. McCarthy, but not as mobile. Strong arm.
Beautiful arm.
Big, strong arm.
Strong
whatever.
arm, dude.
But it doesn't matter. If the Raiders got J.J. McCarthy, that's the thing. Is like, what are the Raiders going to do in the draft? Are they going to draft quarterback? I think you got to draft a quarterback. Because I believe they can cut Jimmy G at the end of this year and not have to eat his salary or much of his salary. So I think the play would be to, since you're not going to start Jimmy G probably the rest of the year, I would imagine the play is hire a new coach, cut Jimmy G, release his ass, not have to pay him much of his salary, and draft a quarterback. So you're looking at Caleb Williams or Drake May. One of those two you're probably not going to get because they're going to go in like the top 3.
Right.
And you're, as the Raiders, probably going to be picking in the top 10, but you're probably going to be picking like 7, 8, 9, maybe 10th. You could probably get Michael Penix Jr. at that point. You could definitely get J.J. McCarthy because I would bet J.J. by the end of the season will be probably a projected first-round guy.
Yeah.
Late first-round guy. And I wouldn't hate that. I would be hopeful.
JJ's gonna explode in the combine.
I would be hopeful with
explode.
JJ McCarthy, but I would not be optimistic. But I would be hopeful because he's like 6'3". He's got decent height. He needs to bulk up a little bit. He needs to put on like 15, 20 pounds. But he has ability because he is able to run. He has a strong arm.
He's accurate on the run, dude.
He makes decent decisions.
Yeah, he does. When in the pocket, he's mobile in the pocket. He's shifty. He's crafty.
Now
he's got ability in the pocket where it's like, goddamn, dude. It's like that game against Michigan State where that one play where he made early in the first quarter where he threw it to Roman Wilson. Brother was like, back it up.
I'd be okay with drafting
Brother
JJ.
was like, back it up.
I'd be okay with drafting JJ, but I don't want to draft him in the top 10. I would want to either trade back and get him late in the first round, or if I could get him in the second round. Like I don't want to wait. I don't want to get him in the top 10 though.
I like him, dude. I think he's good.
You give me Ben Johnson as head coach and JJ as a rookie.
People like wrestling.
As a rookie, wrestling.
I think maybe you're cooking with something, but
People like wrestling.
people that like the Raiders.
People like the Raiders.
What's your biggest ick, brother? People that like the Raiders.
Let's do it again.
People that like the Raiders.
Oh, God.
So, I mean, where do you go from here? The opportunities are endless. Who they're going to bring in for coach? I know Raiders fans are clamoring for Jim Harbaugh. I don't get it. I think anyone with a brain wants to avoid Harbaugh because Harbaugh is at the end of his coaching tenure. He's old. What is he, 67?
Dude, he's like 60.
60?
Yeah.
He's at the end of his road in his coaching tenure.
Totally. You're not getting any argument from me.
Yeah,
he needs to stay at Michigan for the next 5 years.
He's at the end of his road in his coaching tenure. He is shrouded in scandal everywhere he goes. He wears out his welcome everywhere he goes. He doesn't get along with anybody. Everybody hates him. He's a weird bird.
I'm dead in here. It's like burnt wood.
He has a weird personality. I don't even think he gets along well with his own brother, the coach for the Ravens, John Harbaugh. Yeah, I don't even think they get along. He's just a weird dude. I want a young, offensive-minded quarterback, or not quarterback, coach that can work with the quarterback. Yeah, I want like what Mike McDaniel was for the Dolphins. How he came in as kind of a relative unknown, but as an offensive guy, and he molded Miami's offense around Tua and what Tua does well, versus making Tua do what he wants him to do. He decided to make the team do what Tua does well, and I think that's what makes you successful. And I think that's what Ben Johnson has done with Jared Goff in Detroit.
Yeah.
So I'm down for that. That's where I'm at. I want Ben Johnson. I want draft a quarterback. You son. I want Ben Johnson. I want draft a quarterback. If you can get me Caleb Williams, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, or Michael Penix Jr., I'd be okay with any of those four.
I think JJ's your guy.
I mean, I think Caleb Williams or Drake May is my guy, but
All right. Well, here we go. So
let's wrap this up. We'll find out what they do later on. We got a whole season to go. Maybe Antonio Pierce is the guy. Maybe Antonio Pierce is the interim head coach, gets them into the playoffs. I mean, they're only like one or two games below 500 now.
Yeah.
So maybe he gets them on a roll. The team starts feeling better. They gel. Maybe Aiden O'Connell's a guy, and they do something.
Maybe.
Because Rich Bisaccia did that, got him into the playoffs as a special teams coordinator, and became interim head coach and got him into the playoffs. So
Maybe.
And then Mark Davis screwed it all up, so like he always does.
Yeah.
So, brother, let's watch some Michigan and let's watch some Alabama. Till the next one. Smith Boys, out.
This guy, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.